my last video where I was filling up my monthly beauty basket, essentially of trying new products, determining whether or not I wanted to keep something, you know, all of that good stuff. If you want, I'll have that video linked up here for you. But while doing that video, I also mentioned that I have a monthly beauty bag, and that is my everyday makeup bag / travel bag. And while I am using the products in my beauty basket on a daily basis, this bag is my quick grab bag in the event that I have somewhere to be and I want my makeup to look nice. And this also prevents me from packing for a trip and then getting there and maybe having something missing or not liking the products together, because you can like your products all individually, but you want to make sure that they work together. So I've kind of built this bag over the month with things that I've either done in videos that I really liked, some of my favorite items, and then also I've added in a couple of other things that I just felt were necessary. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. And I have a couple of foundation options in here, and I'm going to show you everything, and then I will, you know, do my face. And obviously there's going to be a lot of concealer options because I am like really broken out right now. And I don't know if I'm broken out from all the products I've been using or from my hormones changing. So who knows? But anyway, my foundation options, I kind of consider this a combo now. I've really been enjoying the Merit Great Skin Serum, and I use this under every foundation, especially if the foundation tends to be a cream, or if the foundation might be a little bit more drying on the skin. And then I also have my Merit complexion stick in here. I'm the shade Linen. My other options in here, and I might only end up keeping one in here, but I have the Vita Lumiere Aqua from Chanel, and then also the Le Beiges. And then this is the Touch de Tint Water Fresh Complexion Touch. And both are, this is 20 beige and this is BD 21. So I'm trying to determine what I want to keep in here. And I haven't used this in a long time, and I use this and I know I love it. So the way we're going to determine is essentially me just putting it on my face right now. And then I'm going to go into it with this foundation brush. This does already look a little bit orange for me. But Chanel foundations are typically a little bit lighter in pigment, and so you can sheer them out and it's not that bad. So this isn't looking too bad. And I may still go over certain areas that need a little bit more coverage with that Merit stick. And I forgot to put on my Merit serum, but that's okay. It's going in the bag. I'll remember when I'm actually doing my makeup. So I think this is going to be perfect. And so typically also, the brush that I always keep in there, which is in the back of the bag, there's a brush area. It's already in here. It's this one from Merit. I just grabbed this one though, and it's from Julep, and I'm actually liking it quite a bit for this one. So I'm gonna wash all the brushes that I wanna take before I travel this weekend. That's also another reason why I'm getting this bag together now, is because I actually have to do my first sort of traveling with it. And another thing I like to keep in mind, since I do use this bag for a whole month, is what do I need to accomplish during the month, especially on the days like where I'm going to be traveling. So I'm going to be traveling a few times this month. One is for Army and the other is for family holidays. So for family holidays, I want a little bit more full on makeup, maybe something a little bit more festive. So I'm going to keep that in mind as we're going through this bag. And then also for military, I want things to look a little bit more fresh and clean, but professional at the same time. So I am going to go in with the Merit a little bit. And honestly, I'm getting ready to go to the gym. I don't need more coverage, but let's just kind of play around. I always get red right here. And we'll do the chin, we'll do the forehead, and right there, and blend that in. I feel like the light's catching right there, kind of strange and making me look yellow, but I think it's because the sun's going down outside, so the light in the rest of the room is starting to look a little bit weird. Okay. I don't think I'm going to need to powder that. So typically if I do this underneath, it's so moisturizing. I almost always have started to kind of powder certain areas. And the powder I'm going to travel with is the smaller size of the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, but I'm not going to use that right now. Then I do have this cream bronzer that I'm going to take with me. This is from Rose Inc. Does anybody know if they're okay? I haven't heard many people talking about them in a while. Let's go ahead and go in with this. Again, I have the shade Kawaii, which I think, is that cute in Japanese? Is that what it means? But what I do is I just kind of like put it around my face in the areas, you know, where you typically would bronze, and then I go in and blend it out. So I'm like not dainty about this at all. I like my everyday makeup to be kind of effortless, where I can just slap it on. When I travel, I do spend time in hotels, and hotel lighting is notorious for being terrible for makeup. And so I like to kind of test it here. And then I know if I just slap it on in a hotel room, it's still gonna look decent. I wanna go in with concealer now. And I do have an under eye corrector here. This is discontinued, which makes me sad. It's the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector. This is one of my favorites. And when I run out of it, like that's it. I'm not going to be able to repurchase it, which makes me sad. Why did they discontinue this? It's moisturizing. It's not drying. You don't need a lot of concealer over it once you correct, just because the color still corrects without being like overly peach or like orange. It's just enough to kind of get rid of like the dark blue. So then I'm going to go over with this Kosas concealer. This is in there just because I'm trying to use it up. It runs a little bit yellow on me, but I can still make it work. So you'll kind of see, yeah, it's very yellow on my skin, which is so funny to me that when I go someplace and I'm like, hey, I am olive toned, what's your lightest olive? And they're like, just buy yellow. Yeah, like this is what yellow looks like. Okay, I mean, this is good enough for the gym. I don't know why I'm like looking in there and acting like I care. Okay, so then some other concealers that I have in here, I have some for spots. I have this NARS concealer in the shade Madeline. It's a little bit dark for me, but I think that's actually good for spots, because if you do a brighter shade on a spot, it's gonna make it look a little bit gray, or also just make it stand out more. So I do go a little bit deeper with my spot concealer. And then I also have this from Laura Mercier. It's their Secret Camouflage. And it came in a compact with little pans, but I was afraid it was gonna dry out. So I actually took an old concealer pot that I actually ran out of that concealer. And this is from a brand, I don't even think it exists anymore. But anyway, you can kind of see the peachy side and then the yellow side, and I just kind of mix and I cover spots as needed. But I just depotted it and stuck it in there. And then if I do run out of the Kosas this month, I did pop in this Beauty Pie Everyday Great Skin Concealer. It's a little bit closer to my skin tone. So if I'm starting to go a little bit yellow from the Kosas, I'll just go ahead and put this in, which this is closer to my skin tone, but like it's still yellow. And I'll just take my little fingies and blend it out. If it looks like I am rushing, I am. I have a lot to do tonight. I have a video to edit and get up because I'm trying to get a video up every day. I have to go to the gym still. I haven't done that yet today. I have to make dinner. So tonight is going to be a busy night. That video probably won't go up till like almost midnight. So let's get into eyebrows because I look like a crazy person. So less is more with eyebrows. I feel like the last couple months I've been putting too much product in my brows. I've been using this NYX brow glue. And it's not the product is too much, it's the way I'm doing it. So sometimes I put the gel in before I put the powder or the pencil, and that way I can see where the bald spots are and fill them in. I can do that with a regular gel like the Anastasia, but I can't do that with the NYX brow glue, or it starts to look gummy and crazy on my face. So let's try something here. I'm gonna go in with the brow powder if I can find it. in this bag. So this is the Billion Dollar Brows Powder and Taupe, and I cannot tell you how long I have had this, like an embarrassing amount of time. And I use it almost daily and it's still kicking. So that just goes to show you, you don't need to buy a ton of makeup. Makeup lasts a long time, says the person who has like spent a crazy amount. I could have probably bought a used car for the amount of money I spent on makeup last year. I mean, not a really good used car, but I mean, it would get you from point A to point B. Okay, so I got this in, and then I did pack an e.l.f. pencil. This shade is kind of the best for my brows at the moment. Does it even say the shade on it? It does not. Is it on? Oh, it is neutral brown. Look at this tiny little sticker they put on this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this as well, filling in any spots the powder kind of missed. And just giving a little bit more structure to the brow, and then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of like gel. And then I'm just gonna have to leave it alone. I don't know when to quit when it comes to brows. Okay, I'm just gonna run, I was about to do the brow glue, but I can't bring myself to do it. I'm just gonna run some of this through. Okay, and that's it, we're done. Okay, so now I wanna hop in with blush. I recently did a video doing a full face of Victoria Beckham, and I really like this blush. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. It's in the shade Roller Skate, and I'm just gonna kind of pop it on my cheeks. Such a pretty color. And this blush like stays. A lot of the times cream blushes don't stay, but I think since this one's a thicker, more pigmented formula, it actually stays on the skin longer. My skin's so dry, sometimes it literally just drinks up the blush. And I am gonna go back in with that foundation brush I just used, and I'm gonna just blend around the edges. So I was going to pack my Lisa Eldridge highlight. There's like a liquid highlight, but I had this, which I need to use up. Becca's not even a company anymore. And this is the shade Moonstone, and it came in like one of those little kits, you know, where you kind of get some. And this is a similar color, a similar effect, and it takes up less space. So I'm just gonna toss this in there and use it. I am gonna go with the edge of this brush that I just used. Yeah, that's gonna be great. All right, and then I did pack a powder bronzer. It's also from the Victoria Beckham video, and I'm just gonna go in. Actually, I like this brush, and get the deeper shade and kind of just go around the perimeter of my face, literally doing like that thing that back in the day they told us to do, like the 3. And just kind of going in there, kind of stamping a little bit there. And then, yeah, I think, and then kind of down the jaw slightly. Yeah, kind of stuck there. Okay. All right, and then taking the lighter shade, I'm gonna go in with this brush and kind of blend all of those edges. And I'm using, obviously I just said I'm using the lighter shade, but I find that the lighter shade isn't too much darker than my skin tone, and it really just blends everything perfectly while still warming it up. So if I like run it over my nose like I just did, it does a really great job there, and I can also take it down my neck. So I didn't want to powder my whole face, but I did want to go under my under eyes with this Pat McGrath. Again, I recently did a video where I feel like these videos each month, if I continue to do these beauty basket videos, or beauty bag videos, travel bag, I don't know what I'm gonna call this. But if I continue to do these videos, you're gonna hear me say I did a video about something, because typically I test stuff the month prior to be able to talk about it on video, and then if I love it, it goes in the bag. So you will probably hear a lot of references about videos that happened. So I don't need a powder blush, but I did pack one in here. It's from Chanel. It's the Rose Bronze. So I am just gonna take this and kind of pop it over. It's a similar shade. Maybe not as vibrant as the cream blush from Victoria Beckham, but it goes really well over top. I do have a powder highlight as well, and it's also from Chanel, and this is the Red Day Camellia. And I'm gonna take this highlight brush. Wanted to make sure there wasn't any residual highlighter on it. And I'm just gonna kind of take it over, obviously, the areas that you highlight. So again, you don't really need to do this, or I don't need to do it, just because I do have a cream highlighter on underneath, but I still think it's pretty. So let's talk about eyeshadow. I hemmed and hawed over the eyeshadows I was going to take, and it changed like 5 times. But this is what I've settled on. I'm gonna take this Chanel, and this is from a holiday from a couple years ago, but I feel like this has a little bit of everything because I wanted it to be a little bit festive. And then what it doesn't have in it is kind of like a kind of sort of light all over the lid shade, which I'm going to use this. And then also like a top coat, sort of like glittery, not glittery, but like a wet look effect. And this is a discontinued Burberry thing. So those are all the eyeshadows I'm going to pack. I'm getting ready to go to the gym, so I don't want to do anything too crazy. So I'm going to go in actually with this shade, and it's like a champagne color. It's just not as vibrant as the Burberry. And I'm gonna put that all over the lid. That's actually really pretty. And then I do wanna go into the crease with the shade right next to it just to add a little bit of depth, but honestly, I don't feel like I need to. I feel like it's just pretty on its own. There we go. And I'm just gonna kind of work it up a little bit. So I feel like this little palette's so versatile. There's a shade that I can use as a liner, and there's like a burgundy shade, and there's a gold, and there's a silver topper. There's just so much I can do with it. So it's like the perfect kind of travel or everyday palette because it's so versatile. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't need to add anything to this. I did pack a liner. I'm not much of an eyeliner person, but again, in the Victoria Beckham video, I just really liked this, and I think it's so versatile because you can also smudge it out and use it as a shadow base, or you can kind of make a smoky eye with it. It's just so creamy. So what I've been liking to do is just work it into the lashes a little bit, and I just put a couple dots on the outer area, like literally maybe 2 or 3 dots right there, and then take my finger and smudge it. I mean, it does have a smudger on the end, but I don't need to fuss with all that. And I think that just gives enough definition to the lashes and the outer edge of the eye look that you don't really have to do a whole lot. So then I'm gonna moisturize my lips for a second. I always put a little lip balm in, and this is a mini of the Ilio, which I love the Ilio lip balm. Oh, another eyeshadow I included, I just saw it in the bottom. I included something a little bit warm. This is Laura Mercier Baroque. It's a nice warm all over shade with a little bit of shimmer, like loose glitters in it, but it's super pretty on the eyes. So I did that just in case I wanted like a one and done warm like shadow look. And then let's just do some mascara. So I'm gonna hop in with this Pat McGrath mascara. Okay, this is like turning out to be the perfect everyday look, and I'm so excited about it. And I do have a couple of lip products in here. So I have this Huda Beauty lip liner. And so I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips just a little bit. And then I have these Glossier, I have Fuzz and Malt that I'm putting in there. I believe these are the 2 newer shades. And Fuzz, I think, goes a little bit more rosy than Malt does. And there you have it. That is everything that is going to go inside of my makeup bag for the month. And I can just throw this look on, maybe do a little bit more with the eyes. but I think this is perfect. I don't need to put this in there. I actually think this foundation is fine. So I'm gonna pop all of that back into the bag, and then I'll be back to show you what it looks like inside of the bag. Okay, so this is the completed makeup bag. I obviously need to wash the brushes, but this is kind of how the bag is set up. The brushes go in the top, and then you unzip it, and then all of the makeup is in the bottom portion. And I was able to fit everything in there. I just dropped a concealer. All right, got the concealer so I can pop it back in. Also, I can, like, it's literally almost out. I can see how translucent it is holding it up to the lights. But anyway, yeah, this is everything in my bag. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see me do this video every month and kind of show you what my monthly everyday look is and how it changes through the seasons, let me know. Because this is something that I'm already doing anyway, and I typically just don't film it. So anyway, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye. You should never doubt it's true. I am not forgotten. You're the one on my mind. And I could spend the winter too, as long as